All right. Hello and welcome to this episode as we enter into 2023. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the creator of the AAA Response. And as we move into 2023, now that we've transitioned kind of from the holiday season of December and all the fun that brings, and then move into the new year, and now we're kind of entering back into the routine that we usually get into, right? And a lot of people set these extreme New Year's resolutions and usually fall off 1 or 2 weeks later, and then we kind of get into these routines for each season of the year, each year. And then because of that, what you really need to understand is that your routine is going to produce results. It's not just about desiring certain results, it's about bringing a routine and habit into place today and every day that is going to create the kind of results you want eventually. So when we talk about OCD and anxiety recovery, um, you know, it what it's really about is about the idea of not and oftentimes I'll talk about choosing recovery today and choosing recovery in 2023. That's what I decided to title this particular episode. What I'm really talking about is it's not about choosing how you feel right now, right? It's not like you don't have that in your choice. And real quick, just for the people listening live, this is live. This is not pre-recorded, just so you guys know. I saw a few comments. So when we're talking about, hey, I want 2023 to be different. I want to choose recovery in 2023. OCD and anxiety and fear have controlled my life enough to the point where I'm ready to take back control. Okay. Great. If that's where you are, that's amazing. That's I'm excited for you, right? But the question is not desiring that is the first step. And then the question becomes, okay, what are you going to do to get there today? What the reason I talk about choosing recovery is because it's not about choosing how you feel today or choosing if you're having intrusive thoughts today. What it's about choosing is, am I engaging in behaviors that are keeping this loop going, that's ultimately creating this lens and distortion of how I see the world, that's ultimately leading to me doing a bunch of compulsive behaviors, right? That are keeping me stuck, that are keeping me stuck in this wheel. And as a result of being stuck in the wheel, my life gets impacted these ways. It impacts my relationship, it impacts my work, it impacts my physical health, my mental health, it impacts all these other facets of my life. And so when we talk about choosing recovery, what it's about boiling it down to is saying, today I'm going to behave in a way that aligns with my recovery, and eventually my reality will catch up with that. Because how you are behaving, your current reality today is a result of your past behavior. It's just what it is. If you're wrestling with a bunch of intrusive thoughts and dealing with a bunch of anxiety in the body, there's overwhelming probability, probably 99%, that you've been engaging in a bunch of compulsive behaviors. And the culmination of that is led you to today, right where you are. Now, the good news is that you have the choice of how you're going to behave. And what will happen, though, is your results will come with time. So it's the same thing with physical health, right? If you're physically not where you want to be when it comes to your body mass index, your strength, your cardiovascular, stamina, whatever. That didn't just happen from yesterday to today. That happened as a result of consistent choices over a period of time. And just in that same way, if you want to be physically healthy, what you have to start doing is making healthy choices today that will compound over time and eventually provide you the result you want if you consistently do them. Like, we know this. Dieting is not a mystery. It really isn't. It's a habit. It's an ingrained habit. right? And when we're talking, if you want a healthy body, you need to have a healthy habit of eating properly and maintaining some kind of usually physical exercise. And that varies based on your age, your gender, and all that other stuff, right? I mean, I'm not saying that I know the perfect plan for everyone, but it's not complicated, right? Same thing with mental health. It's like you can't just choose to be mentally healthy today if you've practiced poor mental health habits for years or months, right? That doesn't, you can't just say I'm going to choose in opposition to the practice that I've been practicing for months or weeks or years or however long, decades in some cases. But the when I talk about choosing recovery in 2023, what I'm talking about is saying, hey, I'm going to choose to develop and practice the habits so well that my mental health and the state I want to be in psychologically and emotionally and even physically will catch up to me because I practice the habits so well this year. It's not about choosing the outcome as much as it's about choosing the habits and the practice that you're going to engage in every single day. So if you practice ruminating all the time and you practice analyzing and getting lost in your mind and you practice uh, you know daydreaming and all these other unhealthy behaviors, right? If you practice compulsively checking things or getting reassurance or practice avoidance, that practice is going to lead to certain results and not the results you want, right? Choosing recovery in 2023 is not about I'm going to go and say I'm going to choose to feel recovered right now, because that's not I don't want to say it's impossible, because I don't know that I believe in that idea, but it's not likely. It's not the common experience. It certainly wasn't my experience. What has to happen is you have to say, hey, 2023 is the day that I'm going to take, is the year that I'm going to take full responsibility for my mental health, meaning I'm the cause of it, right? That's what it means to take responsibility, right? When you say when you put responsibility on something, usually you use the word because, right? Be the cause, right? Hey, why did um, you know, the X, Y, and Z happen? Well, because X, Y, and Z. When you say because, you're putting responsibility on that thing. And that's the same thing. Hey, it's like, why are you wrestling with your mental health? This is the hardest sentence for most of us to ever come to grips with, because I've been practicing habits that produce poor mental health. I mean, if you aren't willing to say that and acknowledge it, then you're always going to look for to change something other than yourself and what you're doing. Because wherever you really identify the responsible cause of something, that's got to be your focus of change. If you're going to say, why do you have poor mental health, or why are you wrestling with your mental health, and you're like, well, because my parents and it's genetic, well, then you're going to constantly try to change either your parents or your genome sequence or whatever, right? But if you really understand this idea of this loop and compulsions feeding that loop, and you're able to eliminate those compulsions, that loop can't exist. I mean, the reason that we teach the AAA and why I'm so passionate about teaching AAA response is because when we can ingrain a habit to the point where it becomes unconsciously done, and you're just doing that consistently and so consistently that wheel just can't exist. That's the whole philosophy behind it, right? And because your habits are often done so much in your mind, this is why you need some kind of practice that you can engage in consistently. It's not just about engaging in the 10-minute meditation or a cold shower, or whatever it is that you do. These things are helpful, don't get me wrong, but it's the ongoing habit throughout the day that's probably the most important thing that you're going to engage in. So if you find yourself again doing a lot of rumination, analyzing, all that stuff, understand that if you're engaging in that, you're choosing that loop in the future, right? And when you realize that, then it's about coming back to the present moment and saying, I can actually choose recovery right now. Because if you stop engaging in compulsions and you really start practicing the behaviors that don't feed that loop, you're choosing recovery. And what will happen is your external reality will start to match your behaviors, but it will come in time. Just the same way, if you choose to start dieting effectively and exercising well, your body will match that over time. There's a lag in between our behaviors today and our results tomorrow. And we have to trust that by engaging in the correct behaviors today and consistently doing that every single day, that over time, that our results will eventually catch up with us. That's what it means to choose recovery in 2023. That's how I see it. And recovery is a daily choice. It has nothing to do with how you feel, how many thoughts you're experiencing in your mind, or any of that for that matter. It has to do with your behaviors that you're choosing, you know? So hopefully that helps and that provides a kind of a clear understanding of what I mean. And I want to just kind of have this special message today for, for 2023 as we move in, and we got some exciting stuff, coming, as far as different series that we're going to be running on the show and whatnot. Real quick. So for those of you that are interested in things like, live Q&As and whatnot. So in the community I run on Taking Back Control, we have live Zoom groups twice a week, right? On Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm considering opening up another group this year. And so we've been talking about that. And I've also been thinking about doing something maybe once a month where it's just kind of like coffee and questions or something like that. I'm trying to come up with some kind of creative title, but really just sitting and kind of fielding some questions, because I know we get a lot of questions. So I've been thinking about other ways to do that. But yeah, if you're interested in our community, right, all you need to go is to restoredminds.com, and then you can check out our Taking Back Control program. We have different options, so we offer different levels of support. And if that's something you're interested in, all you need to do is fill out an application, and we can reach out and connect with you and kind of tell you what we think would be the best option. And also, we have various just digital workshops if you're interested in that. We have our intrusive thoughts workshop. We have our 2-day workshop on like a short intensive where I walk you through that, as well as a helping a loved one program. And those are some short workshops that we provide as well. And yeah, with that said, I mean, and then we also have a free guide that you can check out in the notes. And so I've linked all of that stuff down in the notes if you want to look at that. And lastly, we would just really appreciate your support moving into this year. We were reviewing all like the numbers from last year on just the growth of the show. And again, we're very grateful for all of our listeners and viewers. And I'm very grateful, I should say, personally, and just very fortunate to be able to do what I get to do, and to help the algorithm of the show. It would really help us if you just helped us out by liking and subscribing, as well as even leaving a comment or review, depending on what platform you're consuming this through. So the Apple review for the iTunes, or YouTube comments, whatever it is. So we just want to say we would really appreciate your support for doing that. And if you have a second, please help us out by doing that. As we move into the next series, again, you got some fun stuff coming for you, so stay tuned for that. And then also, please sure to check out the notes in the links below. And I hope this was helpful today. And again, just remember that if you do want this to be a transitional year for you in your life, and what I mean by that is a year where you really see a blatant difference between everything that happened before this year and then life after this year. And it can really be that kind of transitional time in your life. And it can be that for you. It really can. What you have to do is not make it about how you feel, but about the behaviors you're engaging in. And if you really understand that, you can choose recovery right now. And if you choose recovery right now consistently, the results, they may lag, but they will catch up to you. Just in the same way with physical transformation, same thing goes here with mental health as well. Hope this was helpful, and look forward to, again, starting off this year, and again, all the stuff that we have coming in and bringing in to the show. I think it's going to be, I think you guys are going to really like it. So had a really good, kind of discussion with the team of all the things we want to do this year. So wishing you guys an amazing year. And I really hope that 2003 is your year where you have significant transformation. Take care, guys.